Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Battle Brothers Season 3. As today, with Cetrus now officially put to rest, sorry bud, the Raiders push on with their new prizes in tow. Now simply in search of someone perhaps worthy enough to actually wear them. And I guess there's the whole goblin thing going on too, the greenskin invasion, which we'll also resume chipping away at today. In fact, I think that will heavily color our first step here as we get back into it. Though, before we do that, methinks we also need to finally up our filter-induced firepower a bit, with perhaps the Potion of Malevolence freshly recovered from the Witch's Hut. That will go to Zarmal, hopefully buying him a little more leeway on those rare occasions he does get hit. Dastard's Valor is still slated for Rassel. And we do need to notably replace our Kineticist's brew, which we lost with Cetrus. That, I believe, will come from Orc Warriors, so shouldn't be too long, given, what we're currently mixed up in. That said, given that we do, of course, want to try to get ourselves back on course, I think we're going to head straight for Helvik, see if we can just turn this thing in with 0 kills. Officially get it off our books. No such luck. You know what? That's fair. And I'm not just going to abandon, so... Alright, we'll, Well, first of all, we'll do some quick spot shopping. Grab the trade goods, grab some tools. Some food, we'll definitely need that. And, although not ideal, we will very briefly head north. Hopefully we can spy some sort of beasties that we can kill real quick. All we need to do is bank 1 kill, then we can come back and turn this thing in, without taking the reputation hit that would come from simply abandoning. Assuming we can actually find something. Huh. Oh, wait. There we go. Direwolves. Sure, we'll take it. I mean, really, that was something that struck me between episodes, was that no matter what we tracked down, it was just going to be a pretty basic filler fight. None of the creatures in the current contract would actually pose a challenge. Though that is apparently something that the devs are, in fact, working on. As of just last week, they added new Bandit and Noble Army units. As for these guys, pretty trivial speed bump. The Raiders, not one to disappoint their employers, took to the frozen north, swiftly hunting down a pack of ravenous wolves, so as to satisfy their employers' specific demands. And, of course, it was fairly short work. The first wolf falling to Mark's musket. The rest rushing in regardless, maddened as they were by their mysterious malady. Furry fury given form, and yet that brute simplicity made them easy prey. The less afflicted among them, at least making some token effort towards actual pack tactics. Circling wide, seeking to isolate single targets. Tommy taking one through the chest. Mark mangling another's leg before falling back. Random felled a flanker, then cracked another skull. Arrow eliminating a third. Face shotting a fourth. And so it went. The raiders deftly unpacking this particular threat in truly spectacular fashion. Rax carving straight through the center line. Seymore slaughtering on south. And a few more furry fiends rushed in. Not that it much helped them. Even Mark could match them in melee. And thus they continued to fall, one on Diego's spear. Oh, Arrow under threat. But not for long. Yeah, we're fine. Rassel rousts the last on south. Oh, but accidentally stumbles into a billowing cloud of bilious vapors. Maybe not the best move, but, you know, minor in the grand scheme of things. Seymore slaughters one on center. Oh, and two more move in. Hey, good for you, I guess. But again, when even Mark can outclass you in melee, you should really just go home. Happy to take the kills, though. Rax removes the fourth to last. Malafnoy, the third and second. And but one remains, desperately seeking escape. Which, to be fair, it finds, albeit from this mortal coil, claimed by gilded Kopesh. And the raiders swiftly descend upon the corpses, stripping away everything of use. Before, once again, setting their sights back on Helvik. Honestly, although obviously not a super exciting fight, that did give our guys time to recover. Everyone back on tap, except for poor Verlin, who does still require a bit more time from that concussion. We'll see if we can get that properly patched when we pass through a town with a temple. Though unfortunately, I think the nearest one is probably Loundstat, so still a ways off. But we'll start heading that way. Let's get this thing turned in. 1,200. Okay, that's not awful. You unfurl the sack of heads and let them pile onto Count Radolf von Goswin's floor. He stands up. That's not on the rug, is it? A servant runs over and kicks the heads apart. He quickly shakes his head, no. The nobleman nods and slowly sits down. Good. You there, Wilreich. Get to counting and then pay this mess-making sellsword his dues. And by the way, mercenary, take it easy on the presentation next time, will ya? Will do. Sorry about that, boss. Just in a bit of a hurry, you know how it is. Looks like prices are even worse than they were last time we passed through. But it is an ideal time to sell, not that we really have anything to unload. We'll go ahead and consolidate. But we still need the unhold hide, that and the sparkling ash. And thus we push on. Yeah, nothing else keeping us up here, so we will start heading south. Sight set on Loundstat and then the dry lands beyond. Though, I suppose if we're headed down towards the lion folk, might as well swing through Oberberg. Maybe we can pick up a contract, something slightly more reasonable to do whilst we're all the way down south. Plus, I would like to see if they've got some of the new gear that was just added. Which they do. The Executioner's Sword. And the Poleaxe. Poleaxe? Poleaxe? I have not had much of a chance to get used to these, but apparently the Executioner's Sword is a heavy single-target greatsword, and the Poleaxe is a hybrid between an axe and a hammer, with a very intriguing sort of combo attack. Not the most cost-effective gets, but I would really like to try those out. There's also a new S-stock, but I'm not seeing that here. But yeah, we'll go ahead and grab those, hopefully find some use for them. At least try them out in the field. Grab some other stuff while we're here. Trading goods, tools. A little more food. Yeah, I mean, we're going to need 300 plus if we're going back out west. Don't think there's any new armor items. I mean, if there are, I'm certainly not seeing them here. But I did hear they added more cosmetic options for various high-end gear. Not something that really impacts us at the moment, but good to know. You know, something we can certainly keep in mind. Not seeing much in the way of new hires. Retired soldier is a halfway decent mid-tier recruit, but far too fragile for this stage of the game, I think. Yeah, I guess that's it. Let's keep heading for Loundstat. Oh, I guess we should at least have a peek at this. Count Guntram von Harkon carries a candle close to one of his books, his eyes dimming to the light and focusing in on some scripts you can't read. They say the Greenskins have a long, long history in this land. Do you believe that? You shrug and answer to the best of your knowledge. If you want to stay a while in this world, you've got to fight. And Greenskins do seem to have been around a long while. The man nods, seemingly appreciative of your observation. We have a number of them marauding around Eisengrab. They're burning everything they come across, killing everyone. That's all quite obvious, I'm sure. What's also obvious is that I need you, Sellsword, to find and destroy them. Are you interested? Eisengrab. Actually, I think that is right out where we're headed. Southwest, just shy of the desert? Pays halfway decent. Should count towards the current crisis. You know what? Let me have a quick peek. Double check exactly where that is. Oh, yeah, that works. Pop down to Eisengrab, get that taken care of, then roundabout approach back towards Loundstat. You know, very roundabout, out through the wildlands. All the way around Cloudcrest, I think. Strip off a double layer of fog. We'll take it. Who knows, maybe we'll even get a halfway decent fight. It is a 3-skull. Let's head for Landstedt. Which does have a temple, so if Verlin's still hurting, we'll get him patched. Hey, fellow mercenaries. How do you do? That is going to be an eventual problematic ambition, having to take on another mercenary group. Most easily done during the Noble War, but in our case, that's already said and done. There you go, Ver. Get well soon. And check the local shops. Nothing new there, though we could use some more arrows. Ambush trade routes, so prices are likely on the high end. Oh, yeah. But good time to sell. And recruits. What have we got? Whole bunch of cultists. Fun, but not super viable for this stage of the game. We'll at least scout them out. But I can't really imagine any of these being a good hire. Wow. It's like a cultist convention. Ooh, how about this guy? Oh! That's something else that's new. That is the one new background added by the recent patch. The Executioner. Who I believe gets plus 10% on headshots. And a 4th cultist. But I've got to say, that Executioner is awfully tempting. Oh, Iron Lungs, absolutely. Okay, we'll take him. New content, we got to at least check it out. Okay, interesting. I've got to say, stats are lower than I'd like, but given the star placement, he might actually be ideal as a backup bannerman. One sec. And we are back with a big raider welcome to our new, aptly named evening. Rocking that fine new poleaxe, which, yeah, has a very intriguing sort of 1-2 combo here. You stagger with the hammer side and then, in theory, get a bonus attack with the axe. So yes, given that we are, I think, tying him to polearms, and we are going for the backup bannerman build, he will ultimately follow in Rook and Revenant's footsteps, more or less following their same build with a few minor tweaks. Most notably being that we are once again going to skip Colossus. Rather, we'll use manual health upgrades to try to push him over 70. But then otherwise, that'll leave his perk freed up for something else. And, given that he does have a long ways to go, we'll go ahead and bolster his growth with the King in Chains, which grants visions. This subject has strange visions of things that have been and things to come. While less than cheery around the campfire, it does seem to give them a certain ability to connect and internalize new experiences faster. Should help him catch up a mite bit faster, though obviously he'll have to recover from the sickness first. And you know what? Long as we're here, let's go ahead and toss that Executioner sword over to Seymore. Not sure that'll be a permanent swap. I just want to try it out. See how it feels. I do worry, though, that Sigmar's melee skill might be a bit too low for an all-in single-target weapon like that. The standard Greatsword's AoE is a mite bit more forgiving when it comes to characters with questionable accuracy. Anyway, on we go, out towards Eisengrab. We'll take the long way around. We'll push through Fairdale here, down through Markland. Mark's feeling a mite bit homesick. Knock out the rampaging orcs and then back out west. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how it actually works out. Oh ho, and there's our first target of opportunity. Oh, evening, please tell me you're back in. This would be a perfect time to put you through your paces, but no. Alas, alas. Alright, well, maybe next time. Let's take him out. As the raiders ambled out towards Eisengrab, Arrow soon checked in, confirming that they were indeed in the right place. Unlike the north, where they had met many a malcontent, who in the end were merely murderous men. Here, as the grass turned green, so too did the terrors that trod upon it. Though thankfully, nothing the raiders hadn't faced before. A paltry few peons, so-called berserkers. But really, just more meat. Not, of course, that these ne'er-do-wells knew. Not yet, anyway. But they would soon enough. The raiders stepping up to meet their charge, to rob them of momentum. Rook unhanded, the first to approach. Mal moving in, lopping the rest of the limb off for good measure. Seymore swiped as well, drawing a bloody gash across Berserker's chest, soon joined by the thunk of Valin's spear. Drak circling wide, but maybe just slightly wary of all those man-splitters. A shroud of shrapnel kept their heads down, as did errant arrows angling overhead. And with line set, the fight began in earnest. Sigmar bringing up the rear, still trying to get used to the balance of his strange new sword. Val eviscerated a varlet. Another meeting random end. Alois blindsided a berserker. Drakiith hacking it to bits. Rook just straight up stabs one in the face. Arrow putting another down. And Sigmar. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, that probably would have killed him anyway, but still. Berserker bisected. And with that, the fight was all but over. The rest of the raiders rushing in, eager to claim the last few kills. Seymore slashing off an arm. But Valen claiming that particular kill. Then nicking another's neck. Drak faced off another orc. Rassel wrestles another into submission. Rook running it through. And the final foe falls. Massacred by Mal. With a legacy level up for Valen. Nice. I mean, obviously not much of a fight, but we'll certainly take it. Let me just do some quick swap outs here. Then we'll get that level taken care of. Honestly, we're right around the corner from Isengrab, not worth tagging for repairs. And, yeah, pretty straightforward. We'll just take range plus double defense. Not seeing much reason to bump anything else. Alright, on we go. On toward Isengrab. Perhaps we'll find one more target of opportunity en route. But if not, there'll be a fight waiting. In theory, I assume that's how it works. I think we get there and then there's an event. Oop. A leather tarp is found flapping from some sticks on a hill. There's evidence of an abandoned camp around it. A smoldering fire, fleeting footprints, a few bits of odd debris. Seymore points at it all. Their smell still lingers in all this. The smell of orcs. Rassel, hawks, and spits. You got a strong nose for shit, sir. Seymore nods. It ain't bullshit, though. We're in orc territory, men. Be on your guard. I mean, I feel like the Berserker camp we literally just cleared was probably already evidence of that, but sure, thanks, Seymore. Good looking out. And Isengrab. Oh, which does not hit us with an event as soon as we arrive. I kind of expected it to highlight a city under siege. But apparently not. Local prices are obviously not ideal at the moment, but possibly a good time to sell. Nothing notable on local recruits, though. I mean, we just picked up an executioner, so we're not in a huge hurry now. So I guess we just kind of hang around, wait for someone to show up, or how does this work? We're not seeing orc tracks because I believe those should be barefoot. Oh, there we go. Orc marauders coming in hot. 12 strong with 2 champions. Oh boy. Though on the bright side, if we can in fact take these guys down, that's 2 guaranteed named items. Plus a replacement potion. The one we just lost. Looks like Verlin's back in. Let's go ahead and pull Rassel out. And you know what? In fact, we will immediately toss him that Dastard's Valor. I've been waiting for him to get injured, you know, sidelined before we sideline him. But at this point, we should probably just go ahead and get it done. Synapse blockage. This subject's body is mutated in such a way that their fight or flight response is altered. In high-stress situations, their limbic system is simply refused resources for flight, making them effectively unbreakable in the battle line. Okay, I mean, I feel like that would come with some pretty significant drawbacks, but I'm sure that's fine. I mean, I'm certainly no anatomist. Oh, and let's go with Trip instead of Czar. Trip doesn't really get out in the field too much these days, not since he found that accursed obsidian. But orcs are inexplicably immune to its necromantic effects, so that makes it an ideal time to bust it out. And thus, the raiders once again found themselves besieged. The last thin line between orc invaders and Eisengrab beyond. The enemy approach was awkward. The orcs had attacked at nightfall, using a hill as cover for their approach. Far more clever than the raiders were used to seeing from such foes. Though the presence of two particularly wizened warriors among them mayhaps explained it. As burly and brutish as their kin, but also possessed of more sinister cunning. Gleaned perhaps from their goblin cohorts. Rook quickly recognized exactly what was happening, and with a sharp, piercing whistle and a wave of the company banner, he pulled the raiders back. Leading to frustrated shouts of protest from Thrak Talon and his cohort, Sapat Blok. The two orc warriors very clearly in charge. But, you know, what could they do? They couldn't force the raiders to come to them, so it was either advance, meet them on even ground, or simply fall back. And as smart as they might be by Orcan standards, they certainly weren't going to run. Especially as the raiders took potshots, deliberately provoked them to continue their foolhardy advance. The bait was set and boldly taken. The burly brutes, bull rushing forward, blades held high. Only for the first to catch an arrow in the face. A slight stumble, but still showing no signs of stopping. If anything, simply incensed. And still the raiders held, awaiting the Orcan advance. The first foe found its way onto their line. Promptly met by Trip's blade. A flurry of strikes, flaying its chest. The foolish youth now having second thoughts about his hasty approach. But really, that's not what the raiders were worried about. They were worried about the much sturdier savages bearing down behind. Rack stepping up to meet the first, splitting a helm with one wicked swipe. The orc still stood, but now half scalped for his troubles. Rook running the run-through so the raiders could refocus. Seymore stepping in. And with another mighty sweep, his top-heavy blade cleaved through neck and cuirass both. Heavy head hurtled off to one side. Blood fountaining body tumbling shortly after. Balance is still weird, but I could get used to this, the militiaman mused. And the rest of the raiders rushed in, once again, robbing their foes of momentum. Except for on the north, where they waited for the two most fearsome warriors to approach. Which unfortunately did lead them open to immediate reprisal. Trip stunned. Random set an orc to half-calf, hoping to calm him down. Or, just put him down. But he still had a leg to stand on. Diego holding his ground. And Rax removed another threat. Then waded ever deeper into the orc warrior formation, awaiting the elite. Even as the rest of the raiders just kept a whittling. Yeah, that's fair. A heavy kerchunk as Seymore's top-heavy blade sunk deep into the ground. Mal stepping over, lopping Alout's head clear. And the Orc champions finally made their move, unable to resist the open invitation from the company's deadliest warrior. Leaving the rest exposed. Trip choking off another with an improvised trach. Mark fired into the mass. No significant impact, but enough to at least keep them ever so slightly off balance. Tommy throwing down as well. Each impact further whittling at the sheer wall. Arrow angled shots into another youth as Diego circled behind. Random racking another rapscallion across the head. And Rax readied his blade. Bypassing Blok's block. Catching him upside the head. Shearing away crude sheets of plate. Blood trickling from beneath. Guy's got yet another unique cleaver. As if we didn't already have enough. Though, the guy behind him, that's a unique shield. Diego was dashed back, briefly stunned by raging reproach. Seymore slashed another. $130 damage. I mean, that's not awful. Though, obviously, he's no Rax. And Seymore put the orc the rest of the way down. Armor asunder, neath blitzkrieg assault. The last of the warriors waded in. Even as the other elite pushed up on Trim, perhaps taking the elderly thief as easier prey. Not necessarily the worst assumption, but, we'll see how that works out for him. Trip meeting him head on, landing a couple of quick, painful jabs, probing neath ill-fitted plates. And the raiders rallied, eager to bring this brutal battle to an end. Racks wrecking Saphat Blok's bulwark. The orc left exposed. Shoot. See, I think in the future, if we were to do a Season 4, I would definitely want our heavy weapons guys to have rotate, so they can more easily move into attack position. Despite his dire straits, Thrak wasn't ready to go down without a fight. Trip trampled, arrow imperiled. Even as the raiders rousted the rest. Another unfortunate youth. Disarmed. And the last few warriors scattering to the wind. Thrak was perhaps the greatest remaining threat. Quickly marked. Diego dealing with his own distraction, then doubling back. Trip chipping away. And just like that, Thrak realized all was lost. His warband all but undone. Blok himself, the next to fall. Well, in theory. Lightly ribbed at the moment, but just a matter of time. There we go. Finally pierced by Rook's pike. And no longer under immediate threat, Arrow simply stepped back. Seymore choking up. What's that? That's 106 damage? Pretty middle of the road. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to make of that one just yet. Though, I mean, I suppose it's also fair to assume we're not really using it against the ideal foes here. And yeah, fight's pretty much over. Seymore slaughtered the fourth to last. The remaining three, all eagerly seeking their escape, trying to force their way past. The ravenous raiders and their bloodthirsty blades. Though now those bulky bulwarks worked against them. Bogging down their every step. Bodies barely able to stay upright even without the added weight. And so, one by one, they fell. Talon trimmed by Trip. Not such easy prey after all, it would seem. Seymore bisecting the second to last. And Mal claiming last kill. My goodness, I've got to say, that was surprisingly painless for a 2-champ fight. Also, legacy level up for Mark. Nicely done. There's our restock on the Kineticist draft. Likely to go to evening. But I do have to get the hang of the poleaxe first. Plus, of course, yet another cleaver for the pile. Though, I will say, that at a glance, that might actually be better than the one we've currently got on Seymore. Slightly less enamored with this thing, yeah. That just doesn't really feel like it's worth the wait. But, you know, we'll take it. We'll take it all. We've certainly got the room. A man emerges from a heap of dead greenskins. He is not one of your mercenaries, but in fact a merchant, with his hands tied behind his back. You inquire as to how he came into such company, and he shrugs, stating he's rarely heard of greenskins taking prisoners. How lucky for him. Glancing around, the man pipes back up. I must thank you, sellsword, but if it weren't obvious, then I must state that I no longer feel safe traveling these roads. If you were to get me to Erlach in one piece, I'd be willing to depart with 184 crowns. Does that sound good to you? I mean, not really. 184 is barely a drop in the bucket. That's like a fifth of our current payroll. But I'm also not just, I suppose, going to leave you out here to die. I'm pretty sure that would be bad for our rep. Erlach. Where is Erlach? I wish we could check before we committed. Oh, okay, that's not bad. Yeah, that's a little out of the way, but not by much. And how we looking in Eisengrab? Not much better, so I guess we'll leave them be. Best of luck. We also have this level up. Let's go ahead and knock that out. Again, pretty straightforward. Range and double defense. Would be nice to round the health to 60, but I feel like that's a secondary concern. And, yeah, you know, we've got a few minutes to spare. Let's get this guy back to Erlach. That'll make for a good place to call it. Unless, of course, we encounter something en route. Then we'll pause prematurely. Let's head for Thunberg. Man, it's been a while. Hopefully they've got some nets. Because that is the other thing we need while we're down here. S-stock, bottom left. That one's weird. Like, as near as I can tell, it's essentially a two-hander designed for fencers. Which we obviously do not have. But, you know, who knows? Maybe our final recruit will be a retired swordsman, if we can track down the Fountain of Youth, offset their main drawback. One sec, let me just liquidate our current loot. Yeah, sadly, no nets. Another retired soldier. I will say I am tempted to go for a swordsman at this point, just so we could try the S-stock proper. But I don't know, I never had much luck with fencers. Having reached Erlach in safekeeping, the merchant turns round and thanks you. He hands over a satchel of crowns, just as promised, and quickly makes his way into the town. Thanks. We'll try not to spend it all in one place. Which, yes, I think puts us at a good place to call it. Interesting episode today. You know, not much in the way of challenge, though the 2-champ fight was kind of fun. But we did see a lot of the new stuff that the recent content update has to offer. All 3 of the new weapons, the new background, the Executioner, though we haven't had a chance to put him through his paces yet. Next time, though. Next time. We'll definitely get him out in the field, try that poleaxe out. And I'm gonna I'll give some thought to the S-Stock. I might grab that on the way back. We have to head back west anyway. We just don't really have anyone who's designed for it. Though, perhaps had it been available before, I might have tried to build Seymore around it. We have not, however, encountered any of the new bandit marauders or the noble men-at-arms. Not sure about the latter, but hopefully we can find some of the former before too much longer. That said, yeah, we'll hit the pause button for now. I will take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping, not that there's much to be had. And we will pick up here next time, as we once again go wild. And, put the new guy through his paces. No need to fret, my friend. You may not have much experience, but it's all in the execution. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Bowman, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.